the Fargo 5. I'm Conrad Fargo. We are moving to the last segment, the favorite segment, the segment that was we were just talking off the air about how I dreamed up this podcast, YouTube show, radio show, years in the making. So Fargo Famous is a part of it, and that's your hashtag, and I, probably stole that. The big idea of the show was I wanted to go guerrilla style and just like ambush interview people and be like, what are your 5 favorite things in Fargo, right? Like, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that, and just like ambush people.
That'd be cool to do that on the street.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the idea. And the idea's still there, and I might still do that someday. But for now, I've turned it into a show with the 5 segments, and they're all alliterative. So I had to kind of like workshop it and figure it out. So it's Fargo Famous, because the reason I went Fargo Famous is because it's with an F. Everything's alliterative.
Yeah.
So Fargo Famous, Fargo Fun, Fargo Frequently Asked Questions, Fargo Fresh, and Fargo Favorites. So that's the idea behind it. We are going to go straight into the questions here because this is the end of the show. I mean, we're almost done, believe it or not. You're going to go out. You're going to have, it's not like your birthday or anything. It's not a huge, big, exciting meal. This is just like you're going to go out and have a meal because you want to eat out today. What's your favorite place? Where are you going to go get a meal from?
Definitely going to go to Beer and Fish Co.
Beer and Fish. Returning champ.
Oh.
Returning champ. What do you get there?
I generally will get, it's almost the same every time, their Lobster Bisque.
Oh.
Love it. And then their Tiger Shrimp, which is the grilled version of it.
Is Red Lobster like considered just really trashy food or what?
Well, yeah, compared to like really good seafood places.
I love Red Lobster's Lobster Bisque. That's the only place I've ever had Lobster Bisque.
I had that the other day.
Yeah.
Because we were in Bismarck, and so my sister's like, let's go to Red Lobster. Then I was like, oh, no.
It doesn't compare.
Once you have
like the
Beer
real
and
stuff.
Fish Co., you'll be like, yeah.
I have a weird relationship with food. Like, I don't like real food. Like, it's mother's milk. It's what I grew up on was just eating nothing but just bad food. I don't think I had a vegetable. Like, I don't think I had eaten a vegetable until I married my wife.
You're like one of those that ate cereal for supper or something like that.
Yeah, like frozen pizzas and just like it's just how I grew up. So I have a weird relationship with food. So sometimes I just like the worst stuff.
I'm a foodie. Like, I love it way too much.
Yeah.
And my mom was she made amazing feasts.
Yeah.
She catered my wedding. Like, that's how good my mom was.
See, I'm not as hungry as normally because I've already had lunch, but I'm getting hungry. I'm ready for supper. Okay, so Beer and Fish with the Lobster Bisque. I'm gonna have to go try that.
And Tiger Shrimp.
So, but no, tell me. So have you ever had the Lobster Bisque at Red Lobster?
I have.
Okay,
I just had it.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Once you eat Beer and Fish, you'll never go back.
So I mean, how do they compare? I mean, like
Red Lobster is more like almost like blah. It's like a pouring tomato soup into and mixing it with some lobster. I think it doesn't even have the chunks in it, like the lobster chunks. And that's what
that's what we're trying to buy here. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Well, now, I think I'll have to go to Bear and Fish and get some.
And
lobster.
I'm a Lobster Bisque snob.
Yeah. Oh.
Total. Big time.
And it's really good at Beer and Fish. Then I'm going there and I'm getting that.
Yeah.
I'm not often do I get totally sold here on the air, but I have
Don't
been.
even think twice.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's just on the street.
Minami, my wife, we're going to Beer and Fish. I'm getting Lobster Bisque. It's happening. I promise. I just told the whole world.
And I don't eat fish and chips, but it's really good. I've eaten some of my husband's fish and chips. Very good, because I don't like breaded seafood or breaded fish.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah,
okay.
Go get it.
My mother's gonna watch the kids, and I'm gonna force my mother. Mom, you're watching too. You're watching the kids. Guess what? Wife and I are taking a date night. Okay, you're a master networker. I mean, you meet with a lot of people. You're gonna go meet. Where's your go-to meetings place? Where do you go get a coffee or a beer? Where do you go?
The Daily Dose is my fabulous new favorite place.
Yeah, right on 13th across from Shell's there.
Correct, across from Shields. Yes, that is my favorite go-to place. And then, of course, if there's another local coffee place I'd like to go that I would go to, it'd be Beans.
Beans? Oh, yeah, with the
little donut.
The fried. There you go.
Although I will say,
the whole place stinks like donuts. Though.
It does.
So like if you don't like,
you leave there smelling like a donut.
So if you don't, that's kind of the.
It's a catch-22. You leave coffee shops smelling like coffee, or you leave there smelling like a donut.
Donuts,
I'd rather smell like a donut because I don't drink coffee. But I will say this: if you're a tea drinker, I'm a tea drinker.
Yeah.
Babs has the best tea.
Really?
Tea options.
So I have gotten into London Fogs recently. That has been like
good basic.
but that's pretty basic. pretty basic bee stuff, huh? Right
the
there.
newbies start on that.
Yeah.
And it was Barbara, who was previous owner at Babs, who actually was the one who introduced me. She's like, have you tried this? Have you tried this? So like a red rooibos type tea, but like they have so many different blends. Like they have a Sleepless in Seattle, an Emerald Surprise, which is like a green tea with some like orange spice and not even spice, orange and lemon. And so they have all these amazing flavors that are not normal. Beans does too. Beans has really good tea options.
When I lived in Japan, I lost all my money. It's a long story, but I worked at a sushi restaurant. So I was like the dishwasher in the back, the foreigner dishwasher, washing dishes. And they would all just like throw stuff at me and yell at me all the time. But they would drink really awesome green tea, and I would put cream in it to turn it into like a green tea latte. And they never stopped giving me a hard time. I was trying to not say a swear word. They never stopped giving me a hard time for that. They're like,
I was British. This is what we do in London.
No. It's white people thing. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Love it.
All right. On to the next, maybe a controversial question. So I might get you some hot water here. What is your favorite grocery store? Where do you go grocery shopping? Where do you stock your shelves?
You know, I love supporting local, but gosh darn, I love Aldi.
Aldi? Team Aldi.
I
Jeez.
do love Aldi.
That is a love-hate around here.
I think so. And I
mean, in this room, Aldi is a returning champ.
Is it?
Beer and Fish and Aldi are like the two everybody says.
Yay.
If your favorite thing for fun is hiking, I'm going to lose it because that's so. Don't say hiking.
No.
Anyway, more about. Okay, good. More about Aldi.
You see me? I got a fashion show, I mean, depends on the situation. But it's at the end of the hike. But no, what I like about, because I don't like to grocery shop, and it's a waste of my time, and it's annoying.
I feel you.
And so I like going into Aldi. I know exactly where I want to go, and then I can go like, ooh, what's unique and fun? Like it's like now I have something different that I can take a look at. So, but I always know I can get my meat and cheese roll things that are at the back.
Yes.
You know the prosciutto.
Yeah. I've been in there.
I love that.
Okay.
And they always have lamb chops back. They almost always have lamb chops there.
And I do like lamb. Although
that could get me in trouble too.
I'm weird about raw food, like I said, because I have an unhealthy relationship with food. So like a frozen package of food is never going to do it. You just take it out and you warm it up and it's food, right? Meat and vegetables go bad. Lamb, when you open it up, has kind of a funky smell. And I'm okay that it has a funky smell, and that's not, but it's hard.
Fish.
It's hard for me to know when it's gone bad. Right.
True.
And so I think I throw away a lot of lamb that I don't have to. Yeah.
How dare you.
No, and I feel
That's
terrible because it ain't cheap.
I think if it's turning brown, like on the tips and around the edges, I think. But
we recently had one and it looked beautiful and it was great. I had unthawed it. It had been unthawed for like 2 days, but it smelled like manure.
Ooh, that might be bad.
Yeah, and it was a big long.
I think it's one of those things that it's best fresh. I should ask my friend who has a farm who has lamb meat.
But I'm always weird about raw anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Okay.
It could be probably because you worked at a sushi shop.
So next question, and this one might be hard because you know so many people. What's your favorite business in town?
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Could be your own. That's the idea of asking the question. Again, this was supposed to be like guerrilla to other people, but I always talking to business owners in here. I mean, you can talk about your own.
I'd say depends on the day, depends on the moment, depends on what I need. And I will. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one
because you know so many people who you want to shout out.
You do, and there's depending on the need or whatever. But I mean, the newest, most amazing business is Fargo Fashion Week that I launched.
There you go, Fargo Fashion Week.
I know, like the coolest, uniquest.
And that was like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
I was working really hard to get you on, and
I know,
we just couldn't make it work.
It was quick. It was like lickety split because I knew I had to do it in a sense like quick now, so I don't change my mind, and so I don't have 1,000 people giving me their opinions of what I needed to do because I'm like, I just need to get this off the ground, and then we can grab the opinions.
Yeah.
So
no, and I think that's smart. You get it running, and then
get the community
figure it out.
And there's nothing I would have done any different. Usually I'm like, I beat myself up and I'm like, I should have done, I could have done, but I did not shoot on myself at all. So beautiful. I feel quite proud of myself, actually.
You should be.
Yeah.
Just getting to that Zen state. where
just
it's like,
done.
I built it, I birthed it, it is what it is, I love it, it's mine. And no regrets.
Very much like your show, which is another really great business.
Absolutely.
That is kicking off. And the thing is, like you said, you've been dreaming this for a while. I've been dreaming of doing Fargo Fashion Week for 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. But it's scary because it's so expensive. It's such an expensive thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you could easily lose $100,000. You could lose $40,000 to do something of that extreme. So it was definitely one of those. I'm like, I think I can do it now.
They're big gambles. Everybody looks at the success and they're like, oh, look at all the money they make for doing nothing. It's like there was risk involved. Like they could have made nothing, or they could have lost money.
Especially when you're involving the community and when you're involving events. So you get an event involved. It's like, oh man, you have so many expenses behind the scenes to have to cover.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Last question, and then we'll get out of here. And I already kind of alluded to it. It's your day off. You're going to relax. You're doing something just for Natalie. Okay, maybe with someone, maybe not. But it's for you. It's not producing something. You're not working. Just to fun, have a good time, and let loose and relax. What are you going to do? How do you enjoy yourself? It's a rare time. There's rare days that I get to do that. But I will say, sometimes I like to just sit in bed all day. Yeah. And I sit there and I go, does anybody else do this? Because I feel like nobody talks about that. Like my husband, he'll be down like Sunday. He'll be downstairs he'll be downstairs watching football, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not watching this. Or I'll sit there for a bit, but I'll go upstairs and just lay in bed.
And try and flip channels. Usually I'm always flipping channels.
So you're not a doom scroller in bed?
I scroll. I scroll and flip. Like, what am I watching?
Just like a slow drip of dopamine while you just lay in bed.
I'm scrolling, and it's rare. Like if there's a good Real Housewives on, I'll record one of those or try to, because I forget to do that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I should have recorded the episodes. My husband records everything. Like he knows, like he's got every episode of like Hawaiian 5-0 or whatever, and I forget. I'm like, oh,
does he wear a lot of Hawaiian shirts?
He does. He's known for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't know if I've met him, but like just some of that facial structure. I've seen the pictures of his faces. Yes. He needs a Hawaiian. There's a Hawaiian shirt. There's something about it. I believe it.
Yeah, when we were in Hawaii, we went to like 20 stores, and it was like, just pick a shirt. My gosh, how hard is this? But no, they had to have the specific buttons, and they had to have the specific fabric. I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's hard to find the right clothes.
Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. Like some of them were the hard, crisp cotton, and I'm like, ew, I can understand why you would not wear these. And since he lives in them, like during tax season, that's his
all
suit.
He wears. Yeah.
He's breaking into polos now.
Growing up. Well, that's the end of the show. We did it. The last segment always goes long. That's fine. I think we had so much fun. Please plug away, and then we will clock out.
Awesome. Natalie Sparrow. Natalie Sparrow Management is my business. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, at Natalie Sparrow, MGMT. My website, nataliesparrowmgmt.com.
Awesome. Of course, I'm Conrad Fargo. This has been the Fargo 5. You can find me at conradfargo.com. You can find the show, conradfargo.com/the Fargo 5. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Fargo 5. You can just Google Conrad Fargo, the Fargo 5. Find it. We're there. Subscribe. You're watching this on YouTube. I need to start saying that in the beginning of the show. Clip. Like, subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. And we will see you next week. We are out of here with Aha's Take on Me, the 1984 version. So enjoy that, and I will see you next week.